O God in Heaven, The Wretched Diary of Mary Chesnut, Part 31, Subpart E, September 10th, 1861. One of my absolute favorite pastimes during my last stay in Richmond was to visit the wounded soldiers in the makeshift hospitals and watch them die. Their eyes congealing, their skin growing frigid, their breathing, at first rapid, then becoming slow and choppy, before life stops and the bladder and bowels evacuate. Oh, it is truly enjoyable to the fullest to be present when the spirit leaves the body and departs for its judgment, whereby it will either be pardoned to heaven or sentenced to hell. The average poor white soldier, I've no doubt, taking the latter route. Such wholesome fun it all is, especially if the dying boy has family or a young wife present. Their glances of wonderment directed at me in my silk dress, ballooning outward from its inner hoops, filling nearly half the room. I, bedazzled with rubies, sapphires, emeralds, garnets, and diamonds, the likes of which they have never seen, become their focus. They take their eyes off their beloved soldier, wondering who I might be. I am always more than happy to introduce and discuss myself, but I never look at them, only the dying man, transforming into a corpse before my very eyes. Once he has passed, I toss them a $5 or $10 Confederate note, thank them for the show, and leave. I have thought no more of any of those experiences until this day. I received a call from someone identified only as Mrs. Bell. I scolded the butler for waking me from my afternoon tea. He left the room before I rose from the settee, my mind curious if this Mrs. Bell were a person of social consequence or not. I rang the bell for my butler to return, asking him if it were Mrs. Breckenridge Bell of Columbia's highest social circles, or some lesser Bell.
I don't know.
He seemed more exhausted than usual. Well, how is she dressed? Is she wearing jewelry of the most expensive taste, or... He interrupted me.
I don't know nothing, but it's just some old white woman. You all look the same to me.
He departed once more. Frustrated, but my curiosity nonetheless piqued, I rose and entered the foyer beneath our grand formal staircase. There I found a simple woman of dubious pedigree, dressed in a plain farmer's dress. I pointed to the door. Out with you, trash. We have no money for you. Out with you before I have you arrested and lynched for calling upon someone such as myself. She apparently disregarded my stern words and instead told me she was Mrs. Victoria Bell, and that I had visited her son shortly before he died in the Richmond hospital.
Ma'am, he sure enough went on about the nice rich lady what done visited him before he passed on the next day.
She stifled tears.
It really meant a lot that someone like you could have done all that.
Although it is said to be a nice thing when the grateful hearts remember and the idle people who did the kind act forget, I was infuriated. Why did they not tell me he had not actually died when I was there? That meant I had missed the best part. Through waterfalls of tears, she offered me a golden military medal of some sort from his coat. In a rage, I slapped her contemptible white trash hand, knocking the cheap medal down the hall. I told her I was delighted he was dead, but sorely irritated I had missed his actual expiration. I shoved her from the doorway and demanded she leave the premises immediately. Mary Chesnut. September 11th, 1861. Mr. Chesnut's father, a man approaching 90, sent me the following letter today. It stated, Mary, you are nearly 40, and by all accounts of no use to the Chesnut dynasty. No child have you borne. It seems with Buddy, we die out. Get to work on it. I wanted to reply that his son would not touch me, to inform the old man that after being pushed into matrimony by a supposed pregnancy of my teenage years, Mr. Chesnut is yet to touch me again. That it was my inheritance from my father that even kept the antiquated Chesnut dynasty from falling into the lower white classes to begin with. Oh, God in heaven! I wanted to write him all of this and more. I chose instead to take my opium, and an entire bottle of Merlot to bed, and have a good cry. Mary Chesnut.